I'm Jessica Lombard, Associate Superintendent.
And I'm Superintendent John Berkey, and this is Huntley 158 Today. Well, today we have a show about extracurriculars, and in many ways extracurriculars really aren't extra. They are a key component of helping a child develop as they go through school, and I was involved in many things in school. You were involved in many things in school, and I think we all grow because of that, and we're really proud in Huntley 158 that we have a number of activities, from sports to other activities, that kids, no matter what they're interested in, can find something to be involved in.
And I think that number has grown over the years, and we have two guests here with us today that kind of oversee those at our high school and one of our middle schools. So I'd like to introduce, we have Glen Wilson, the athletic director over at the high school, and Rita Castans, who is our athletic director and assistant principal over at Marlowe Middle School. So welcome. Thank you guys for both joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So can you guys just tell us a little bit about your background? And both of you have been involved in athletics outside of the job as well. Talk a little bit about that, and what was your passion and interest for taking on the athletic director role?
Okay, well, I think athletics is very important to me personally. I've been involved in athletics since I was 7th grade myself. Athletics just took me so many places and opened up so many doors for me. Allowed me to go continue playing in high school and as well as college, and just the leadership opportunities I had to learn how to be committed and driven is something that I really appreciate having.
I think for me, I was a 3-sport athlete in high school, and what it did for me is it just absolutely connected me to my school. And provided such a rich experience. I just lived and breathed my high school, and that was academics as well, because because you had to be, but that organization, that time management, all those things for me merged together as something I had great interest in, and I was able to do so successfully. So it spurred me to look for that after I left high school. How can I continue to be a part of that atmosphere that so connected me?
Now, Mr. Wilson, you're actually new to Huntley this year, so you came from one of our neighboring schools where you were also an athletic director. So how's the transition gone from you from one high school to another?
The transition has gone really well. First and foremost, there are so many great people here in the district that have made my transition, or try to make my transition, a heck of a lot smoother, and been accommodating and flexible, and willing to work with me and help me get entrenched into HHS. And with that, I do bring some experiences that help with that. So I think the blend of those components of my experiences and website management, yet having people that have been, at least in my athletic, or our athletic office, been there a while, have really blended well to get me off to a good start.
So our athletics is probably the bigger component of our extracurricular activities. However, we have other activities that are at both the middle schools and high school. Can you tell us a little bit about the opportunities that students have to get involved? I know it changes from 6th to 7th and 8th. There are different opportunities, and then a large number of new opportunities that they can have at the high school. So why don't we start at the middle school? What kinds of things can students get involved in, both activity-wise and athletic-wise?
We offer numerous different clubs and activities, not just athletics, and I think at the middle school level it's really, really important for them to find something they connect with. It helps them to be much more successful in school, helps them to get a good friend base, and at the middle school level, that's where you see a lot of the anxiety. A lot of them are trying to figure out who they are or where they want to go. So we do offer everything from Spanish clubs to dance teams to POMs, cheerleading. We have foods club, we have tech club, we have service club. So a plethora of student council of them to get involved in there. And then our athletics, they do have some opportunities with cross country, track and field, and wrestling as 6th graders that are all non-cut sports, which is really nice to be involved in. And then as they progress to 7th and 8th grade, we start having more of our basketball, volleyball, those types of sports.
And a lot of the student activities that happen after school have come from the students' ideas themselves. I think I was there this past week and someone wanted a new club, came in and kind of wanted to discuss that idea. So is that something that the middle schools really encourage and support and try to put in place for the students?
Oh, absolutely. Our policy is students come to us with an idea, they kind of put together something, then we try and help find a sponsor that's willing to stay after. I know like last year, for instance, we had a big group of kids who are interested in starting a Harry Potter club. They met once or twice a month and had a lot of fun in there and were really successful. And again, it's just giving those students a way to connect. And all the research shows when they do have a good connection to staff or to other students, they tend to be more successful.
So, Mr. Wilson, we have all those same opportunities and even more at the high school that Ms. Castans mentioned. But we know how positive these activities can be, but we also know that there can be a lot of stress put on kids in these activities. What advice do you have for parents of a student athlete to what they can do to make sure it's a positive experience but does not become an overly stressful experience?
Yeah, that's a terrific question, and there's not a kit that we hand out to per se help with that, but we have some friendly pieces of advice and some things that come to mind that we share with our families is to be a supportive parent, and underneath that, guys, is to have dialogue with them that ask questions such as what went well, what was good about your experience today, what happened, what was good at practice today, and work with them in that vein. To assist them. Do you need any assistance in time management in the sense of your academics? And do we need to push back dinner, or do we need to think of another time to go to Aunt Rita's, for that experience, to support them, because in this day and age, being a student athlete is a demanding component, but also one that I think that if done correctly, parents, students, and the athletic office can find a very positive place for them to grow and develop.
So as we think about all of these activities, both of you talked about how important it is to get involved so that you have that connection with the school. Quick bit of advice on how, for the students who maybe don't know what activity is best for them, what suggestion do you have for them?
I would encourage them to try everything and anything, even down to our exploratories, which are actual classes. All of our students have to take at least 1/4 of them for their first 2 years, because we want them to be open to trying new things. You might not have been exposed to it, so especially at that middle school level. And I know once you hit the high school, there, it just blows up with the amount. But we do offer so many things, and we encourage our students to be involved in multiple sports, multiple clubs and activities. We usually try and have them meet on different days so they can try out different things and find their niche.
Well, thank you very much for both of you being here, and I just think we all want to encourage students to get involved in something, because there are a lot of options in Huntley 158, and like you said, it does help them really get a closer connection to school, and ultimately can help students perform better academically. So thank you for being here.
Thank you both for being here, and thank you all for joining us today at Huntley 158 today. We hope to see you at some of our upcoming athletic activities here this fall. If there are future guests you'd like seen on the show, topics you'd like discussed, or just have a question for us here in the district, please reach out to us at our Facebook page or Twitter, #Ask158. Until next time.